Welcome back. It is 1492, and in the last one we had Grace and Pedro come to live with us so that Grace can find a husband. We also had a little Gabriel who is aging up into a toddler this year. So let's roll for him. He can't get a, what is it, a 4, 8, or a 12? Oh no. Okay, I think it's a 4, 8, or a 12. Am I really going to unhide 700 rows and then have to rehide them? No. Okay, 4 to 12, Gabriel and then Elaine. Survived. And then we have Malcolm Payne, who is doing his first adult role. He has to get a 9 or higher. And he did not. Well, there you go, Malcolm. Actually, I don't even remember if I brought him over to this save file, so maybe. I can't remember now. Anyway, this year also Princess Elizabeth is born. Is Malcolm here? Hold on. I don't think so. No, he's not even here. Anyway, so also from Submarin, they uploaded some more Sims. I just added some ladies to the game as well because I am thinking about whether or not Pedro would remarry, and there are not a lot of options, so I decided to add some ladies in potentially for him to get to know. So that is really the only thing I have to say right now because we didn't have a lot to roll for. But sounds good to me. Let's hop into the game and find out more about Grace's love life. Alrighty, this may turn out to be longer than I had initially hoped. But anyway, we are going to start here with the family. I'm going to start working on getting Grace's etiquette skill up again. And then also we have to finish imagination and potty for Cassandra. Also, she went to just go see her little brother. How cute was that? So adorable. And yeah, and then we'll start working on Gabriel's skills when he ages up as well. I think we'll be okay with 3 toddler beds. Not that it matters because they don't sleep anyway, but because I think that by the time we have another baby, maybe it'll be soon for Lucius to age up. So I think it'll be okay. Anyway, so also we have Diana who needs to do some creative stuff because she's feeling a little burnt out. I don't know how she's feeling burnt out because honestly she doesn't do much. But anyway, I do like how with the mods you can see that like it says House of Arkin underneath their names, so that's really exciting. And we are going to just set expectations. Grace is going to set some expectations. And then also I'm going to invite over Bendix. So Bendix has come a-calling, and he is, as we know, he's really interested in Grace. And I know that you guys are rooting for him. However, I don't think Mortimer is rooting for him. So she is going to spend some time with him, spend some time chatting with him, and enjoying each other's company and all of that stuff. I think that that's really sweet. And I think that she does like him. I mean, they have amazing compatibility. They are so close already. I really do think that she has, feelings for him, but she recognizes that they're pushing her towards Robert. So anyway, they are going to hang out. Mortimer is going to come and be the one who is chaperoning them, and they're flirting a little bit, and I think Mortimer is not super happy about that. Again, Mortimer, it's not that Mortimer only cares about status. I think Mortimer really thinks that getting the highest status is what's best for someone. Like, I think that he thinks that Grace would have her best life if she married someone who, had a title or was going to have their own estate and land and everything versus just someone who is from a wealthy family. I think that he really does think that that would be what's best for her. I don't think that he recognizes that, relationships and feelings come into it because he never really had that problem. Like, he was from a wealthy family. He married a daughter of a wealthy man. He as a man, it was easier for him to strive to improve his station himself, whereas he knows that for a woman, she needs to marry someone with a higher station. So I think that that's kind of what he thinks, is he thinks that everyone else thinks the same way as he does, which isn't true, but that's what he thinks, is that, like, oh, well, Grace wants to move up in life. The only way Grace can move up in life is if she marries up, you know? So that's, like, kind of where his mind is at. So he arranges a chaperoned date between her and Robert with the Earl, both of them having this conversation, kind of trying to negotiate with each other in a way. And so we're going to have them have a little date, and they are going to spend some time with each other. It's not that they don't get along. Like, obviously, they are already friends. They are both feeling good. They both, you know, they get romantic really easily, and she likes him too. It's not that she doesn't like him. It's just that obviously she has a much higher compatibility with Bendix. So anyway, then Mortimer is going to be chatting with the Earl, and they're just having this conversation and, you know, chaperoning the date. And so I am doing all the date activities, which is, you know, have deep conversations, socialize, etc., etc. So they are going to be doing all of that. And then we're going to flirt a little bit. So that'll be nice, is to have this conversation. And I don't think, I mean, when you think about it, her dowry is going to be 300,000 simoleons, which is a lot. It's a very, very lot. And so there aren't really any other as wealthy women in the area. You know, Peregrine got married off. Like, it doesn't look like Odelgard is going to get married. So Grace is a good option for Robert as well. And look, he proposed to her. They've barely been flirty with each other, and he proposed. So I think that, you know, Robert probably feels that same way that, you know, his father does. Oh, here's like a wealthy, very nice future wife for you. It's not going to be an issue. And so she is actually going to accept his proposal, mostly because, you know, she's sitting there in front of Mortimer, in front of Henry. I think the Earl's name is Henry. And, like, he asks her for her hand, and she's like looking over and is like, well, everyone expects me to say yes right now, so I guess I'll have to say yes. So she does say yes, in fact, and is now engaged to Robert. And so don't you worry, because I have a whole multi-year story ready for Robert, Bendix, Grace, everyone, William. I have a multi-year story in mind. So this does not mean that we're at the end of this drama. So, but what we do have is we have Robert proposing to Grace and her saying yes. So Mortimer is obviously very happy. Pedro is very happy. We're going to have a whole family meeting about it. So let's bring Diana over here as well, and everyone is going to talk about it. Mortimer's going to be like, oh, okay, so good news is that Robert does want to marry Grace, and we've, you know, I've negotiated with his father and all that stuff, and we're in good shape. So she's going to be like a countess. So Diana is shocked. She is shook. She is like, oh my gosh. Also, she's pregnant. She, I guess, got the notification that she was pregnant while we were away. But she is pregnant. So, yeah, Diana is shocked, but she's excited. She's very happy for Grace. And, you know, she hopes that everything works out well. You know, her own father, like, keep in mind, Pedro initially was not very supportive of Mortimer marrying Diana. Like, remember that? Where Mortimer had to convince Pedro that he was a good fit for his daughter. And so I think that that is so funny, is that now Pedro is like, you know, deferring to Mortimer, because Mortimer is, you know, now at a higher status. He's very wealthy. He's taking care of Grace and Pedro. Like, it's really, after everything that's happened, it is wild to me that, you know, Pedro, who was kind of this domineering, a little bit scary force in our lives because we weren't sure if he was going to let Mortimer and Diana marry, now he's just like going with the flow of whatever we choose. And I think it's really sweet. So Diana and Grace are having a conversation with each other, and they are just chatting, and Diana's like, are you good? Like, is this really what you want? And all that stuff. Because Diana is a little more lenient than Mortimer, but I still think that she would encourage Grace, because Grace is like, well, you know, I really felt a connection with Bendix. And Diana basically says, well, do you think that it's more than what you would have with Robert? And Grace is like, I don't know, because I never really got the chance to explore it at all. And so Diana's like, well, this is a choice you have to make, and you may have to make it with not all the information. So you don't know if you and Bendix would be a good couple or just good friends. And so she just kind of is, you know, telling Grace, like, and you accepted Robert's proposal. Like, what are you going to do if you decide that that's not the path? You know, like all of this stuff where Grace kind of realizes she's a bit locked in to this. And Diana basically tells her, like, look, you're going to have an amazing time. You're going to be a countess. You're going to be, you know, taken care of. You're going to have a wonderful, wonderful life. And it's going to be great. So Grace sends a letter to Bendix, and she is going to tell him that she is now engaged to Robert. Yeah, I don't know why. So Earl and Count, are they the same thing? Because the wife of an Earl is a countess. Interesting. Anyway, so also the Queen is pregnant. So there's that. We have a couple of babies being born. I also wanted to get Amelia Peacock pregnant again because she's got a little boy, and we have a lot of little boys right now. So I was thinking that perhaps we could, you know, negotiate some future marriages for our kids. But right now, everyone's got boys except for you know, we don't have daughters to match the number of boys. So anyway, like I said earlier, I added the 4 ladies into the world, and so we are going to have Pedro introduce himself to each of them. My mistake on the first impressions mod, I guess when I had updated it, I missed one of the extra packs that you, like mood pack or whatever pack that I needed with the mod. That's why it wasn't working. Anyway, so he's going to introduce himself. He introduced himself to Constantine first, and she likes him, but he doesn't like her. And then he introduced himself to Isabel, and actually it's pretty much the same, where she likes him, he doesn't like her. And so then he introduces himself to Lilith next. That's her over here. And for some reason, my game is starting to not follow my commands. And they both like each other. So Lilith is the first one who has a favorable first impression with Pedro. So they both have a good first impression of each other. And then, like all the ladies flocking to him. I love it. And then and he perceives her as very attractive. Okay, I love that for him. Then the last lady, Islay, is actually, both of them do not have a good first impression of each other. So right now, it looks like Lilith is the winner of the 4 ladies for Pedro. I'm not like spinning a story for Pedro, like, yeah, I'll have him get remarried or something, but we're not trying to, you know, we're not trying to make a whole thing out of him, out of his story. Although I do think he would wait to get married until after Grace is married. So maybe he'll have a long courtship. And anyway, I'm just going to bring everyone over for like some food and stuff. Also, Peregrine is pregnant. Did I forget to update one of Peregrine's dresses? Why is that dress white? She's a goth now. I'm just all over the place with the clothes, I guess. Anyway, so everyone is hanging out, having a good time. We do have the goths here, since they have now recently moved to this town. And so I think that it'll be interesting to have Mortimer maybe spend some time with the guys and, you know, do a little bit of, you know, gambling or hanging out, etc., etc. So that is what's going on there. And we're going to have him play cards with Alexander and be with the Earl. And so I did want to start sowing the seeds, because we know that the Goths did roll to be one of the families that were going to be against the crown. And also, we know that the Dakras were as well. And so I don't think the Earl is quite on that level yet. But since Alexander is new to town, he doesn't really know the king and queen very well. He's not very well versed with what society is going on here. And so he is more willing to believe that the pretender to the throne is legitimate. He is going to kind of say, you know, while they're talking, like, oh, well, you know, maybe this guy is legit, blah, blah, blah. And of course, Mortimer shuts that down because he's like, absolutely not. You're wrong. And of course, we have the Earl who's kind of like, you know, just kind of listening. Hasn't really made up his mind yet. We know that he rolled to also believe the pretender, but looks like Alexander is a little more outspoken about it, even though it's just the three of them. He's not like he's saying it in front of the king or anything, but he is just kind of like, you know, maybe there's something to this. And so Mortimer is, of course, trying to shut that down, but what you gonna do? Anyway, we're just queuing up some more potty time for Cassandra. So that is what happened at that party. Lots of things going on. I did want something to happen, you know, with Robert or Bendix or something, but neither of them showed up to our party. So, okay, that's fine. And yeah, so that's where we're at. Everything is going pretty well, and we are enjoying our day-to-day life. And Diana is now going to bake a birthday cake. Again, I have this problem with time in my game, so like the time keeps going backwards when I reload the page, but whatever. So Diana is actually going to start baking the birthday cake for little Gabriel, who is aging up today on Sunday. So he's aging up into a toddler. So we have to get him and his birthday cake. I realized now why the age up MCCC thing doesn't always work on infants, and that's probably because a lot of the time the sim moves to a specific location or position in order to do the aging up thing, and infants can't do that. So I can understand why it would mess that up, but also it's still kind of annoying. But, you know, it's our main household, so we will be able to just focus on this and actually make a cake for them. So there's that. And we are going to go get the baby now and age him up. So we will see what a cutie he turns out to be. She is also getting very pregnant. I'm excited. What do you think? The baby will be born in this part, but let me know what your guess is, girl or boy. So anyway, we are going to age up this little boy. Oh, he's so cute. Look at that little face. Oh my gosh. And then he is a toddler now. So he actually, I guess both him and Cassandra are taking after their father, but Lucius is taking after his mother. Everyone's going to have some cake and enjoy themselves. We got the other two kids coming over for cake. For some reason, Mortimer decides that, like, oh, this is great. I'm going to have some spoiled food. I don't understand why he chose to do that. That's kind of weird, Mortimer. You're going to get a stomach ache because you did that, but whatever. So, yeah, everyone is having a good time. Everyone is having a nice slice of cake. We're not making too big a deal about, you know, an infant's birthday. But we are going to then give our little boy a makeover. Look at how handsome he is. And I do want to give them skin details, although I feel weird. I'm like, what are the actual odds that, you know, two kids in the same household would have like similar skin details? I don't know, like with the birthmarks and stuff. I don't know if that would be probable, but whatever. I'm just going to do what I want because I have too many Sims that just have blank faces. So let's just get him in. And okay, I do realize that I just put him in red. I realize in just a moment that I am incorrect in this and have to fix it. I'm just so used to putting everyone in red. It's just like a default to me now, and it was an accident. I don't know what you want me to say. Just ignore the fact that he's in red, and I still haven't noticed that that's a problem. Anyway, there are our three kids. They are all looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. I am excited. You'll have to let me know what you think. So I'm starting to accumulate a list of things that I think could be helpful for the future kids, because I want them all to have like a thing, because Mortimer is going to push them all to, you know, have their own thing that strives to make them better in society and everything. So like, yeah, we can make another one a knight, but like what else? Like maybe a diplomat, maybe I did realize that the Regency thing has like a thing to fund a charity. Like maybe we'll open one of them will open a charity, just kind of stuff like that, where like if you have any ideas for future children, how they're going to make themselves stand out to their father. So that is really important, because obviously, you know, Mortimer takes it very seriously to be trying to make your station better, and he's definitely going to push his kids in that regard. So anyway, we'll have to see what each kid decides to do. And we are going to, again, we're almost done with Cassandra. She's almost to the, what's it called? She's almost to level 3 potty. She can do this. She's really great. And then we're going to start teaching Gabriel as well, because Gabriel obviously just became a toddler. So we need to at least use his parents to get his thinking and his potty skills up high enough so that he can do them on his own. That is really great. And then again, Grace is going to just be doing her thing. She also needs to set expectations again with Pedro. I think that she is kind of nervous about whether the decision she made is the right one or the wrong one, but she did feel kind of backed into a corner regarding the proposal. Like, what was she going to do? Say no? Say, let me think about it? Not in front of Mortimer, she wasn't. And so, you know, obviously she's very loyal to her family, and she's very loyal to Mortimer and Diana, especially because they have taken such good care of her and her father and just all this stuff. And she just really feels like she owes it to them to follow their lead in what she should do. And whether or not that is right for her personally, what's she going to do? So she's going to set expectations again with Pedro. She's just going to kind of talk to her dad and be like, you know, I hope that I'm doing the right thing. And he's, of course, going to be supportive of her and be like, yes, of course you're doing the right thing. Like, this is going to be good for you and blah, blah, blah. And she just, like, no one is really understanding what she's trying to say. So she is just going to kind of accept it. No one is really understanding that she's worried that maybe she isn't choosing the most compatible match for herself, but instead choosing based on status. And, you know, it kind of reminds me of that scene in Bridgerton where Daphne is like, well, I'm going to be a princess. And her mom's like, I didn't want you to marry someone. I didn't want you to pick someone based on their status. So just that kind of thing. I'm really excited for Bridgerton season 3. It's so funny because I am a reality TV person, but I'm not like super into romance shows typically, like rom-coms, that kind of stuff. I'm like not usually interested in that stuff. I think the only reason I even like Bridgerton is because one, it's a beautiful show, and two, like there's the drama, there's the like historical part of it. It's not just like modern time romance. Like I don't know why I like Bridgerton so much, considering I don't really like anything else that's like it. It's just so weird. But anyway, so everyone is here hanging out. The boys are gambling, whatever. And so Bendix is going to kind of come up to Robert and start a little argument with him. Be like, you know, start to have an argument. And because he's mad. He's mad because he has a huge crush on Grace. He is super like into her. And he knows Robert isn't as into her as he is. And she's like sitting right there too. And it's just like, he is just really upset because he has such a big crush on her and he wants to be with her. And of course, the guy with the, you know, high status got the girl. And so he's very frustrated with that. So he's going to go upstairs and he's going to practice his magic a little bit. And he's going to, because, you know, one of the talking points for that family was like, oh, did they use their magic to get ahead? And so he, as it turns out, he's not as good a magician as his mother might be, but he's going to practice that a little bit. I am going to have to try really hard to get these Sims to go where I want them to, because of course they won't go where I want them to. So I am going to need to pull them back here. But anyway, yeah, see, they keep just trying to leave. But what I'm going to do is, so Bendix is basically going to lure Robert up here, and he is going to try and cast a spell on him. So he is going to do that. Oh, and a baby's being born. Okay, so Princess Elizabeth was just born. She actually does not make it very far in life. I think she dies in a couple of years, so that's unfortunate for the royal family, but just the way that things are. So anyway, we are going to just use some magic on Robert. So he is going to come over here, Bendix is, and I don't know why he keeps sitting down like an infant, but okay. So he just is going to use his magic on Robert, and it fails. Like, the spell fails. He doesn't do a good job, and he like makes a fool of himself and embarrasses himself. And Robert kind of comes up to him and like intimidates him and is like, "What you trying to do?" Like, it's, you know, he doesn't maybe realize that it's magic, but he's like, "What are you doing?" And Bendix kind of runs away. He totally runs away. And so like Robert is definitely reading like school bully on the loser, but yeah, it's tough. But you know what the thing is too, is Bendix isn't going about this the right way. One, because he's trying to use magic to solve his problems, and obviously he shouldn't be doing that. And two, because he should just talk to Grace. Like, why doesn't he just talk to Grace? Instead, he tries to fight Robert. Like, but, you know, they're all teenagers. They're not going to make the best decisions. And honestly, Bendix, you know, she made her choice and it wasn't you. So we're just going to have to kind of see whether or not he can do anything about it. So I'm going to bring everyone home and we're going to go back to everyone's skill learning stuff and all of that. So we're just enjoying our time here, and then we're going to start working on the potty skill for Gabriel, because Cassandra is now all set. Two of our kids are all set. Actually, I think let me check really quick. Yeah, it looks like not next year, but the year after, Lucius is becoming a child, like at the beginning of the year. So I think we're in good shape there. We'll only have a small overlap of having too many toddlers in the house, probably. Yeah, I think so. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we won't have any overlap. Okay. I think that'll be good. So we're in good shape there, and it is now Sunday evening, and everyone is doing their thing. Grace is into the logic portion of her what am I trying to say? Her aspiration. And yep, we're doing the potty thing there. Okay, he got to level 2. He's in good shape. Now he can do everything on his own if he wanted to. So we're going to queue up some movement stuff after he finishes there with Pedro. Diana is at work. And time is moving kind of weird again. So what I think I'm going to do is, because the kids also, like, somehow you got an extra outfit in there for Lucius. And I don't know how he had 2 outfits. But I'm going to go into Create a Sim to fix that, and then when we come back, time will have gone backwards. So that kind of stinks. I really do wish that I could just play and not have to worry about that, but it's just the way it is. It's probably also in part because I spend so much time in fast forward in this game, but whatever. So anyway, yeah, look at that other outfit. Like, you should not be wearing that. So we are going to get here, and I'm going to check all the kids' outfits for whether or not they are going to have any extras. I think he only had the 1, so we'll just get rid of that and he'll be good, and then we'll head back into the household. And this video is getting really, really long, but I want to stay until the baby is born, so we're going to focus on that. We're going to do some other stuff and get the other birthdays for the world. And this is also, yes, where I realized that he was wearing red, which he should not have been. And then we're going to save this. Gabriel Larkin is now wearing yellow like he should be. So thank you, Gabriel. So there's that. And yeah, so I think, again, Mortimer is definitely going to be, you know, focusing on making sure all of his children are doing the very best that they can, because he knows what it's like to have someone be prepared their whole life to be the heir and then have it ripped out from under them and they die. Like his older brother, well, his twin brother, but technically was born first, he died. Like, he was supposed to become the heir. He was supposed to do all of this stuff, and he was supposed to have such a good life and all this stuff, and that did not happen. And Mortimer, who was preparing to strike out on his own in order to make a name for himself, and did, actually ended up being the one that was our heir in the end. And so I think that he is very aware of that and is trying to make sure that all of his children are prepared to not only be the heir if they had to be, but at the same time to set themselves up in life in such a way that no matter what happens, they will be good. And that is just kind of part of his trauma of losing his entire family in one swoop. That is definitely part of his experience of having lost everyone, and he just wants to make sure that all of his kids will be set for life no matter what happens. And so I think that Diana agrees, because Diana also lost quite a bit of her family in the sweating sickness as well. Anyway, we are, like I said, working on the skills of the kids and all of that stuff. It is now Monday. It is the last day of the year, so I think the baby is supposed to be born around 1 p.m. So we still have like 12 sim hours until that happens. So what we are going to focus on is making sure we'll do the other birthdays in the meantime and stuff. So I think that we'll be okay there. Although now that I look at it, like, I remember when I first built this house and I was like, wow, this bedroom is huge. It's way too big. And now I built 2 other bedrooms even bigger next to it. Anyway, so yes, we are going to just, oh, okay. And then we are going to have another baby. That is Liberty is having another baby. We're going to name him Hector. So Hector Landgrab. And honestly, the Landgrab family is doing it. Like, they have so many boys now. Although I am going to stop them because Liberty is 8 going her end of life role next year. And so I'm going to stop her from having babies from now on because I think she's too old. I'm just double checking to make sure that Peregrine is pregnant. And she is. But anyway, yeah, so I think that that's going to be Liberty's last baby. They've had 5 babies, so I think that it's totally fine. And also, I believe that like 3 of them are still alive. Yeah, no, now they have 4 kids. So they have 4 living children. I think they'll be just fine. Actually, did I not get a new picture for that other baby? Did you see that? That kid was still an infant. He's not supposed to be still an infant. So anyway, let me check that. Land grab Peregrine. I guess we can go to Peregrine on the family tree. But yes, so anyway, I'm going to go around and check on that. Did I get a new picture for Albert, or did I just ignore that completely? Sometimes what happens is I don't click like update or something, and then it just is not right. Let's see. Albert Landgrab's picture. It's loading, but anyway. Loading. It still hasn't loaded. Okay, so we're going to go to Landgrab household first, and we are going to age up Elaine into a toddler just to check and see if, well, we don't have to check and see anything. We know she's becoming a toddler, but we have to age her up manually because, you know, that's how it goes. Okay, yes, I do have a new picture for Albert that I have to upload. Okay, I'll do that. Anyway, can you believe this little Albert, I was just talking about you, and then you took a slice of the cake that I was just going to use as a birthday cake for your little sister. Now I have to bake a whole nother cake. So annoying. Anyway, so we're going to bake a whole nother cake so that Elaine can become a toddler. And oh my gosh, like, when you look at this family, so I'm looking at the family tree now. Randolph looks like Randolph, which, you know what, is totally fine with me. Albert has Randolph's, like, hair, but definitely he has Liberty's eyes, and then Elaine looks a lot like her mother, and then, you know, we'll see on Hector. But yeah, so there she is. She is such a cute little girl. Oh my gosh, she is so precious. I love her. Like, she is definitely going to grow up to be beautiful. And then, look, Peregrine just had the first child in the Goth family, and I'm double checking because I'm like, no way, no way. And it's true. It's true. Peregrine and her baby just died in childbirth. So Alexander, who just got married, just lost his wife in childbirth. And so I'm like, okay, but I don't want the Goth family to be done. You know, I don't want the Goth family to end here. So we're going to have to remarry him. Like, we're going to have to. So I'm thinking we'll remarry him to, like, one of the new ladies, because there's no one else who's really available to be married. I mean, I guess Grace is, but we have other plans. She's already engaged too. That's not going to happen. So I think one of the new ladies that we just added, maybe we will have him marry. So I rolled the dice to see which one it would be, you know, excluding Lilith, who has gathered Pedro's attention. But other than that, I think he rolled for the first one. He rolled for Constance. So Alexander will be marrying Constance sometime. And then also, we did get a notification that our governess, who we know is related to the Lewis family, who is Quail Lewis, she actually asked us if she should go on a date with Norbert. And that was one of the new Sims that we added for Grace that she just, like, wasn't really interested in. So I think that that is so funny. So since she went on a date with him, I'm thinking that we should marry them as well. So she will find a husband. And then, yes, we also aged up. Like, look at how much she looks like her mom, seriously. Although her hair is a little lighter. But, yeah. I'm excited that the land grabs are doing so well. I'm kind of sad for the Goths, because now they're suddenly not doing well. And, you know, we lost the Payne family. So they made it so long. They made it so long. They really did. But that's just what happens, I guess. We were not successful in having enough children. So here is Elaine. She is such a cutie. We also need to get Crown Prince Arthur, who won't see the throne for very long, unfortunately, because maybe he would have been better than Henry VIII, but we don't know. But yep, here is Crown Prince Arthur. He is, you know, an art lover, apparently. Who knows what he was like in real life, I mean. But in my head canon, it's that he would have been a better choice. Anyway, I'm sure that that's probably not true. But anyway, just heading over here, getting his screenshot. The pride and joy of the royal family. Crown Prince Arthur. He was going to be King Arthur. And then we're going to the Beza household, and they have little Nigel, who is going to get his makeover. He's now an infant. Again, like I said, they have 2 boys, and it's like, okay, well, we only have 1 girl. We now have 3 boys, so other people need to start having daughters, is what it is, because other people need to really start having daughters. So I am going to start putting... It's so funny, because I remember, maybe it was Story Girl asked me, you know, oh, what, like, gender do you need? And I'm like, oh, I need boys. I got so many girls. And now it's the opposite. I have so many boys and not enough girls. So we'll see where that goes. And I will now kill Peregrine. Poor Alexander. I mean, what a life he has had. So, he just is going to be gloomy now. But yes, so we did lose Peregrine. And we'll see. Yeah, I'm thinking about whether or not to remarry him. I'm looking through all the ladies that are available, and honestly, I think Verona should marry Noah, so I'll leave them alone. So I'm looking at the 3 ladies that I just added that are possible marriages, and I rolled a d6 because there are 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we got a 4, so that's a 1. And so Constance is his lady. So we will marry them in the next part. I'm not going to marry them right now because obviously his wife just died. So I am not going to worry about that immediately. So we are going to then come back home in order to have the baby. Really excited about that. And we'll just wait for it. Yep. Okay, so the baby should be born any second now, really. It should be almost. So I'm excited about that. And we're going to put her estate in, into a dowry thing. We're just gonna, so that we can put aside the money for Grace, and then we are going to put that in her inventory so that she can take it with her when she leaves. Also, I'm not trying to make money from it or anything. I'm just trying to make sure that she has her money. Oh, Bendix is still trying to contact her. That is so sad. We'll see. But yeah, so we're almost there to have the baby. Just waiting. It should be any second now. So let's go here into the room. And she's going into labor. So yay! She is going to have the baby right now. And here we go. We are having our child, and it turns out to be a boy. They both roll to survive. We are going to name him Tobias. So I'm really excited about that. I'm glad that they both live. We'll roll for his infant roll in the next one. Of course, I am over here having to check these numbers, so I'm just going to hide only those rows so I can see this until the 1500s happen. So, there we go. So that is where we're going to wrap up. So I hope that you guys are enjoying this. We are definitely going to get more into Grace's love life, that whole story. Pedro needs to get married too. So many things need to happen. So I'm really excited to be working on all of that. And I will catch you in the next one.